Okay, so let's settle in for these meditation moments that we have set aside for the here and the now. Our schedule has told us that it's time to show up. An alarm goes off, a reminder comes, and we have a choice. We can ignore it and keep doing and engaging the things that we're busy with, or we can stop and we can pause and we can really commit ourselves to this moment, this here and now. And so let's do that as we settle in. Just allow the body to really begin to relax. Feel the anchoring of that seat beneath you. Feel the way that as your eyes close, you just block out all the distractions. And just take these first few breaths as a way to just really honor the fact that when that alarm went off or that reminder came, you chose to show up for yourself. And just marvel at what a gift that is to you. And then let's start to take a few breaths collectively. So as you begin to either sit a little taller, or if you're lying down, just stretch out a little more. Just really feel that length of your spine. Feel the relaxing of your jaw. And when we breathe together, really notice the expansion, as if you can just feel the ribs beginning to move. So take a long, slow, deep breath in. And then let it go. And a long, slow breath in. And let it go. And one more together, in. And then out. And then let's just each pause and just notice, after just those few breaths, the shift that comes. There's a shift that comes when we stop the busyness, we stop the doing, and we sit or we lie down. And there's a shift that comes when we intentionally breathe. When we commit ourselves to feeling the fullness of the inhale. And we also commit ourselves to releasing all that needs to go on that exhale. Just notice. Notice the shift. And for our moments that we have together today, I've really been thinking a lot about our countenance. My countenance, ours collectively in the world, humanity. What do people see when they look upon our face? What do they notice? What are we projecting? I've really been studying a lot over the last few years and a lot in the last several months, the words of Thich Nhat Hanh and the words of the Dalai Lama. Two men that every time you would see them in a news article or on some screen on the internet or in some live event wherever they were attending, I always noticed their countenance. This soft, reverent glow on their face. I used to see the same look on that face of Martin Luther King when he would speak. Even when he was speaking about things that were confrontational or hard to process, there was always this softness about his face. And so when I think about these three great men, all representing very different things in our world, different people, different cultures, there's something that binds them all together. And I believe that it is the peace and the calm and the joy that's within them that projects onto their face. And as I marvel at just the way that they were able to do that, I think, you know what? They are made of the same flesh and bones as we are, as I am. And it is possible for us that our countenance reflects what's within us. We show up for meditation. We show up for our yoga practice. We show up in nature. We do all these things to bring quiet and stillness to all the parts of us. So maybe our commitment with the next step would be that we can then project that into whatever people see when they look at us. They'll see a reflection of what's going on inside of us. The same way when Martin Luther King was talking about a difficult topic, he still had a face of peace, of calm. The same thing when Thich Nhat Hanh would talk about the atrocities that he experienced as a young man through the Vietnam War and the things that he saw. You could see the softness on his face. That's encouraging for us that no matter what struggles we're dealing with, no matter what difficulties we are experiencing, our countenance can reflect what's inside of us that we are cultivating right here in this moment. What a way to change our world. What a way for people to see something different when they look at us. And then the same way that I look at those three faces and to realize that I too can reflect that, maybe someday I'll be able to share that message with someone else that they too can reflect it on their countenance. So we're going to go through a breath practice together. I call it the smiling meditation. And so on our in breath, I'm going to say some things, and then on the out breath, I'll say the words, I smile. And while you may or may not feel inclined to smile in that moment, just notice over the repetition, over these few minutes, if it does begin to shift what's happening on your face. And think about, that's what people will see. That's the impression we'll leave them with. That's the impression we'll greet them with. Even when we're talking about things that might be difficult. So just take a couple more breaths on your own. Then I'm going to lead us through this smiling meditation that I've created and see if it can give us this physical encounter with our countenance as a reflection of what's within. Breathing in, I feel my humanness. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I accept my shortcomings. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I forgive what needs to be forgiven. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I recognize that I am tired. But breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I admit I need compassion. And breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I let go of the perception of being broken. And breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I let go of this perception of being unworthy. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I embrace my humanity. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I embrace my spiritual nature. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I recognize that I am whole. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I smile. And let's just continue just to breathe in and out, almost as if our breath is nurturing this countenance that we will then project and reflect out onto the world. And so we're going to sit for just a little while in the quiet with the smile in your heart, in your soul, and see if you can begin to just feel a change, a shift to what's on your face. The expression that you share with every person that you see. Strangers on the street, in the car next to yours, the people in your family, the people in your work circle, the person next to you on a yoga mat or in a coffee shop or the pew at church. Everywhere we go, we have a chance to be a reflection of this practice. And we don't even have to say a word. So let's just continue to breathe in and out in the quiet, nurturing, cultivating, developing this countenance, this smile. Breathing in, I recognize my humanness. And breathing out, I smile. I think another thing that connects these three great men together is they didn't live lives that reflected being a human being living out a spiritual experience, but rather they lived lives, and one is still living that life that represents being a spiritual being, having a human experience. And maybe along these next few days, we can begin to shift our perspective. Not just being human beings with a spiritual experience happening when we meditate or when we engage with certain practices, but rather recognizing the spiritual nature of us and realize we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And wouldn't it be amazing for that spiritual being within us to show forth on our face every time someone sees us? Yes, we will fail. We are flawed. We will have shortcomings. But let's make our intention to let our countenance reflect what is in our soul. We won't have to say a word, but the same way that our breath brought a shift to us, interacting with us could bring a shift to them. What a gift to the people that you'll meet tomorrow and the day after that. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I smile. Namaste.